राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद अच्युत अच्युत श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद अच्युत अच्युत श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद अच्युत अच्युत श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद अच्युत अच्युत श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद अच्युत अच्युत श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु महाभागवत श्री गौरीश्वर बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। Sorry, my voice is नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद अच्युत अच्युत श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु महाभागवत श्री गौरीश्वर बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु जय। श्री रूपानु गौरी गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट विदग्ध गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री मुन देवी गंग देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Oh, and Kishore just sent me a message. What is it? Today is Srila Bhakti Sharan Shanta Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Don't know so much about him, but we'll find out later on. All right. Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Just give me 1 minute. I have like some mucus in my throat and my nose. I just need to get it out and then, yeah, 1 second. All right. Thanks for waiting. Hare Krishna. So we'll do the Mangala Charan and then begin. Ajnanatirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Avatirno sakarunyo parichinno sarishvaro Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Dvau Bhrataro Bhaje. Namastri Kala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Jaya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Lakshmi Kanta Jaya Jaya Nityananda Vallabha Ekanta Jaya Jaya Vaikunta Ishwar Nyasi Raj Jaya 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 Bhakata Samaj. Jaya Jaya Patita Pavana Gora Chandra Dana Deha Hridaye Tomar Pada Dvandva Shesha Khanda Katha Bhai Shuno Ek Chitte Nila Chale Gora Chandra Aila Jemate Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vegyaya Devi Tvam Nayamam Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Kshiptashtakama Ditaranga Madhye Kripa Maitam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasari Gaur, Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sorry. Okay, so now we're going to read the glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita. Ore muro loka shuno Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Mahima Jate Jani Beshakal, Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kohe Ved Vyas, Chaitanya Lila Vyas Vrindavana Das, Vrindavana Dasa Koilo Chaitanya Mangal. Jahara Shavane Nashe Sarvayamanga Chaitanya Nitar Jate Janiye Mahima Jate Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhanter Sima Bhagavate Joto Bhakti Siddhanter Sar Likhiachen Iha Jani Koriya Udhar Chaitanya Mangala Shune Jadi Pashandi Javan Sheho Mahavaishnava Hoy Totokon Manushe Rachite Nare Aiche Granta Dhanya Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Vakta Shri Chaitanya Vrindavana Dasa Pore Koti Namaskar Aiche Granta Korite Ho Tarila Sansar Narayani Chaitanyar Uchishta Bhajan Tar Garbe Janmila Shidasa Vrindavan Tar Ki Arbhuta Chaitanya Charita Varnan Jahara Shravane Shuddha Koila Tribhuvan Sahaje Vichitra Madhur Chaitanya Vihar Vrindavana Dasamukhe Amrite Dar. By nature, all the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they are described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki Jai, Jai Sri Caitanya-bhāgavata ki Jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, Champak Mataji, Manjari Didi, Shubhananda Prabhu, and let's see on YouTube and Facebook who is there. Raseshwari Mataji, Rasapriya Didi, and I see a bunch of other devotees. If you write a comment, I'll see your name. All right, so Hare Krishna. So we are continuing our reading of Chaitanya Bhagavat Antya-khaṇḍa, Chapter 3. Mahaprabhu's deliverance of Sarvabhauma, exhibition of his six-armed form, and journey to Bengal. One second, I'm gonna take a cough drop. Maybe that will clear my throat. It's like really, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna close you up. One second. All right. Ah. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize how bad it was until I started doing the Mangalacharan. All right. So, okay, so we're going to read the chapter summary by Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. Um, well, I think it's by Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. I think I remember reading that when he was Pranavananda Brahmachari. Yeah. It is possible some of them were written by somebody else, but I think they were written by him. Okay, so this chapter, maybe it's even Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada himself. Sometimes I don't know, but yeah. This chapter describes Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's bewilderment by the Lord's illusory energy and his offering instructions to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu's manifestation of his six-armed form before Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Sarvabhauma's offering of prayers to Mahaprabhu, and his acceptance of Mahaprabhu as the original personality of Godhead. The Lord's meeting with Paramananda Puri, the arrival of the devotees, Sri Nityananda's act of embracing Sri Balaram, the Lord's invoking the Ganga in Sri Paramananda Puri's well. This is what we started off with the day before yesterday. The Lord's auspicious arrival in Gauradesh and his stay at the house of Vidya Vachaspati in Vidyanagar. That's where we left off with in our last reading. The Lord's visit to Kuliyā, this is what we'll be reading today. The Lord's visit to Kuliyā and his excusing the offenses of the offenders there. And the Lord's glorification of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and his description of the process of reciting Śrīmad Bhāgavatam in reply to Devānanda Paṇḍita's inquiry on the process of reciting Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So now here's a more in-depth summary. One day in Nilachal, Mahaprabhu, on the pretext of humility and with his actual identity concealed, inquired from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya about his prescribed duties. Being bewildered by the Lord's illusory energy and considering Mahaprabhu an ordinary living entity and a sannyasi, Sarvabhauma gave the Lord various instructions and ascertains the uselessness of accepting Mayavad sannyas in Vaishnav Dharma. He also quoted statements of Sri Shankaracharya to substantiate that it was not Sri Shankara's internal intention to establish the philosophy of oneness between the living entities and the Lord. On the pretext of humility, the Lord revealed to Sarvabhauma that his sole purpose in accepting sannyas was to display the pastime of cultivating Krishna consciousness. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was considering Mahaprabhu as simply an exalted sannyasi. When Mahaprabhu inquired from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya about the meaning of the Atma Rama verse, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya explained in 13 different ways. And I think in Chaitanya Charitamrita mentioned 8 different ways, right? Without touching any of those explanations, Mahaprabhu astonished Sarvabhauma with many new meanings, and then displayed to Sarvabhauma his six-armed form. Sarvabhauma thus fell unconscious to the ground, and Mahaprabhu brought him back to consciousness by placing his hand on Sarvabhauma's body. Then, out of his causeless mercy, Mahaprabhu placed his lotus feet on the chest of Sarvabhauma, who, by the Lord's mercy, became filled with ecstasy and profusely repented for his audacity of previously instructing Mahaprabhu. He then prayed to the Lord for loving devotional service and began to glorify him. He began to glorify him by composing 100 verses. Mahaprabhu then told Sarvabhauma that persons who recite those 100 verses, called the Sarvabhauma Shatak, would certainly attain pure devotional service to him. The Lord also told Sarvabhauma not to inform the public about the six-armed form that he had manifested for as long as he remained in this world. After delivering Sarvabhauma, the Lord made the lives of the residents of Nilachal successful by distributing to them the mellows of the holy names of Hari. Gradually, devotees like Sri Paramananda Puri, Sri Sarup Damodar, Pradyumna Mishra, and Rai Ramananda came to join the Lord and began to enjoy ecstatic Sankirtan pastimes with the Lord. While taking darshan of the Lord and Jagannath, Sri Nityananda, who was intoxicated by the mellows of ecstatic love for Śrī Caitanya, would sometimes attempt to grab Jagannath. One day he climbed on the golden throne, and after embracing Balaram, he took the flower garland from Balaram's neck and put it on his own neck. Mahaprabhu lived with the devotees on the seashore and would pass the entire night enjoying kirtan pastimes and displaying symptoms of ecstatic love. The Lord would exhibit wonderful ecstatic emotions whenever he heard Sri Gadadhar Pandit's recitation of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. One day, Mahaprabhu came to Sri Puri Goswami's monastery and found out that the water in his well was unfit for any use. By the Lord's benediction, the sacred Ganga entered his well the very next day, and the well was filled with pure water. When Mahaprabhu came to see the well water, he told the devotees that anyone who takes bath in that water would attain pure devotional service to Krishna. He told the devotees that anyone who takes bath in that water would attain pure devotional service to Krishna. That the same result one attains by taking bath in the Ganga. One second. At that time, Mahaprabhu elaborately describes the glories of Srila Puri Goswami. When Mahaprabhu first arrived in Nilachal, Prataparudra, the king of Utkal, was engaged elsewhere in a military campaign, so he was not able to see the Lord. After Mahaprabhu stayed for some time in Nilachal, he returned to Gaudadesh. In spite of trying to live secretly in Vidyanagar at the house of Vidyavachaspati, the brother of Sarvabhauma, news of his arrival was made public, and the place of Vachaspati filled with people. On hearing the loud commotion of the holy name of Hari, Mahaprabhu gave darshan to everyone. He blessed everyone by saying, "May your minds be fixed on Krishna," and he instructed them to worship Krishna. In order to avoid the crowd, Mahaprabhu secretly left for Kuliyā without informing Vachaspati. Meanwhile, Vachaspati became afflicted by the Lord's separation. He became afflicted by the Lord's separation on one hand, and on the other hand, the crowd continually accused him of hiding Mahaprabhu in his house. When Vachaspati heard from a Brahmin about the Lord's departure for Kuliyā, he immediately informed everyone and personally led them to Kuliyā. To counter the people's baseless charge against Vachaspati, Mahaprabhu, on Vachaspati's request, gave darshan to everyone and made their lives glorious by awarding them the mellows of Sankirtan desired by the best of the sages and yogis. So that's what we'll be reading up to. No, I'll just read the whole thing. Why not? When a Brahmin asked the Lord about the atonement for committing offenses to a Vaishnava, the Lord said that one who drinks poison should counteract the effect of the poison by drinking nectar with the same mouth. Similarly, glorification of a Vaishnava's transcendental qualities is the only atonement for blaspheming a Vaishnava. This is what we're going to be reading today. Very important, huh? Glorification of a Vaishnava's transcendental qualities is the only atonement for blaspheming a Vaishnava. By the influence of Vakreshwar Pandit's association, Devānanda Paṇḍita develops faith in Mahaprabhu and attained his mercy. Mahaprabhu described the glories of Vakreshwar Pandit to Devānanda Paṇḍita. After his offense was nullified, Devānanda Paṇḍita develops humility and inquired from the Lord about the process of explaining Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Mahaprabhu replied that pure devotional service is the ultimate goal of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, and that Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is eternal and unique. Those who try to equate other literatures with Śrīmad Bhāgavatam or try to equate other opinions, paths, or mental speculations with pure devotional service, which is the goal of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, do not know anything about Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Accepting the book Bhagavat and the devotee Bhagavat to be non-different, one should always try to serve the Bhagavat by offerings of glorification. Jahan Bhagavata Poro Vaishnaverastane, Ekanta Ashray Koro Chaitanya Charane. Lord Nityananda is the personification of the devotional mellows of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. The fully transcendental Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is not under the jurisdiction of mundane imagination. But I think today we're going to be reading up to the point where Mahaprabhu starts glorifying Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, but then we'll finish that tomorrow. All right, so where did we leave off with? I think it was 380. 380. What was it? 583. No, one second. Let me just look at WhatsApp group. 383. Okay. Oh, and Haribol Kishore Prabhu. Oh, you're also getting sick. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm starting to get better now, actually. But I hope you get better soon. Hare Krishna Brishti Roy and Vidyalala Sadidi. Oh, and something I want to mention to everybody. Yeah, Kishore has a group here. It's called 1 Minute Harikatha. And so once a week, he gives just a 1 minute, or sometimes this one was only 40 seconds. Maybe we can listen to it just for now. Here, let me share the screen. We'll hear about Bhakti Sharan Shantamarish, was it? Okay, I'm going to play it so everyone can hear.
Srila Bhakti Sharan Shanta Goswami Maharaj.
Oops, wait, let me take it off level speed.
Srila Bhakti Sharan Shanta Goswami Maharaj was a very humble and soft-spoken Vaishnav. He never quarreled with anyone, he never got into any arguments, and he would never raise his voice, not even to his disciples. He was a pujari at the Yoga Pit temple, but later moved to Godrum to do pujari seva. Later, he established a mat in Mayapur. His speciality was training children in spiritual life, and after the children would grow up, they would move into the mat. He would name all of his disciples Gopal, like Ram Gopal and Sham Gopal. Jai Bhakti Sharan Sant Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai, wonderful.
That's so interesting. I never knew anything about him. Ram Gopal, Sham Gopal. Yeah, so if anybody wants to join this group, it's called 1 Minute Harikatha. I can share the link with you. I'll share it in our WhatsApp group right now, actually. Whoa, can I share it? No, I need to get the link, I think. Yeah, maybe if you could share, if you Kishore Prabhu, if you could share with me on WhatsApp the link to join the group, then I can put it in our WhatsApp group. Jai Srila Bhakti Sharan Shanta Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Tutiya Shubha Avirbhav Titi ki Jai. Very interesting. All right. Oh, 1 second. Let me just take off the sharing computer sounds. All right. So, oh, Hare Krishna Krishna Maya Didi. 383. All right. Okay, so we read many verses of all the devotees accusing Vachaspati of being a miser and hiding the Lord. And they were accusing him in all these different ways. And they said, they said many things, but this is the last things. Someone said, it is the duty of pious people to compassionately deliver everyone. Only ordinary people desire their own benefit, while a pious person sacrifices his life to deliver others. Someone else said, even in ordinary dealings, it is an offense to buy sweets and enjoy them alone. Nobody believed him. Vachaspati said that I don't know where Mahaprabhu is myself, but they thought he was lying to them. So he said all these things. The Lord's sweetness is incomparable within the 3 worlds. Should one relish such sweetness alone? Another person said, this Brahman is somewhat deceitful. He does not have the compassion to help others. Vachaspati was already unhappy because of separation from the Lord, and then people began to speak harsh words against him. That magnanimous Brahman was distressed in two ways, so he did not know what to do. At that time, a Brahman came and whispered something in Vachaspati's ear. He said, Lord Chaitanya has gone to the village of Kuliyā. Now you quickly do whatever is necessary. As soon as Vachaspati heard this news, he became greatly pleased and joyfully embraced that Brahman. He immediately went before the people and informed them of the confidential news. He said, without knowing the actual truth, you have all accused me of hiding the Lord. Now I have come to know that the Lord is in Kuliyā. This best of the Brahmins has come and told me. Let us all go. If this information is correct, then you should accept me as a Brahman. In great joy, everyone chanted the name of Hari and immediately departed with Vachaspati. Immediately, the news spread in all directions. The crest jewel of sannyasis has gone to Kuliyā. Only the Ganga lay between Nadia and Kuliyā. Hearing the news, everyone rushed towards Kuliyā in great ecstasy. The number of people coming from Vachaspati's village multiplied millions of times by the time they reached Kuliyā. It is not possible for anyone other than the thousand-headed Ananta to describe the huge crowds that were attracted to Kuliyā. Lokha lokha lokava aila kota hoite, na jani kote kapar hoy koto mate. No one knew where the hundreds of thousands of people came from or how they all crossed the river. Koto baru boye noka gangar bhitore, tatapi sabai tore jane ka na mare. Although many boats sunk in the Ganga, everyone got across. Not even a single person drowned. Man, that's intense. Many boats, not just one boat, many boats sunk in the Ganga, but somehow everybody managed to remain alive. Noka duvile matra Ganga hoy stal, heno Chaitanyer anugraha ichava. Whenever a boat would begin to sink in the Ganga, it would be found that a sandbar was right below it. Such was Lord Chaitanya's merciful will. Jai Prabhur Nama Guna Sakrit Jai Gai, She Sangsar Abdi Tare Vatsa Pada Prai. A person who even once glorifies the name and qualities of the Supreme Lord crosses over the material ocean as if it were the water contained in the hoofprint of a calf. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase Vatsapada, this is by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase Vatsapada refers to the small impression created by the hoof of a calf. See Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 1.8.36, 4.22.40, 10.2.30, and 10.14.58. Are these all places where it mentions the foot, the Vatsapada, the hoof of a calf? Interesting. It's very interesting measurement, huh? The word Abdi means ocean or sea. Heno Prabhu Shakshate Dekhite Je Aishe Tara Ganga Toribeka Vichitra Vakise. Therefore, what is the wonder that persons who are going to directly see that Lord would cross the Ganga? Lakha lakha loka bhashe janavir jale shave par hoyen parama kutuhale. Hundreds of thousands of people joyfully crossed the Ganga by floating in those waters. Gangai hoya par apana apani kola kuli koriya koren hari dhwani. After easily crossing the Ganga, people embraced one another and chanted the name of Hari. Keya Kearir kotoba hoilo uparjan, koto hata bajar, boshai koto jan. The boatmen earned abundant wealth, and a number of people set up shops. Chaturdike jar je ichha shekine, heno nahi jani iha, kore kon jane. People in the four directions purchased whatever they desired. No one could understand who was arranging all this. Kaneker madhe gram nagar prastar, paripurna hoilo stal nahi abasar. Within a short time, the entire village, including the streets and the outskirts, became so filled with people that there was no empty space. Ananta arbudalo kore hari dwani, bahir na hoy gupte ache nyasi mani. Unlimited millions of people chanted the name of Hari, yet the crest jewel of sannyasis stayed hidden and did not come out. Koneke aila mahashaya vachaspati, teho nahi payen prabhur kotastiti. After a while, Vachaspati Mahashaya arrived there, yet he was also unable to find out where the Lord was. Koto khane tati Vachaspati ekeshwar, daki anaila prabhu goranga sundar. After a while, Lord Gorasundar summoned Vachaspati to come alone to see him. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word tati means there, or at that place. Dekhi matra prabhu visharadir nandan, dandavata hoya porila shekhan. As soon as the son of Visharad saw the Lord, he offered him his full obeisances. Chaitanyar avatar varniya varniya, shloka pare puna puna pranata hoya. He repeatedly offered obeisances and recited various verses describing the incarnation of Lord Chaitanya. Sangsar udhara lagi je Chaitanya rupe, tarilen jateka patita bhavakupe. In the form of Lord Chaitanya, he said, wait, I okay, so the son of Visharad. And the son of Visharad refers to Vachaspati, right? Yes, okay, of course. Okay, so Vachaspati said, in the form of Lord Chaitanya, you have delivered the entire universe by rescuing the fallen souls from the deep well of material existence. She Gora Sundar Kripa Samudrer Prai, Janma Janma Chitte Mor Vasuka Sadai. May Gaura Sundar, whose mercy is unlimited like the ocean, kindly remain seated in my heart, birth after birth. Shri Gaura Sundar Kripa Samudrer Prai Janma Janma Chitte Mor Vasuk Sadai. Sangsar Sagare Magna Jagat Tekhiya Niravadi Varshe Prem Kripa Jukta Hoya. On seeing everyone in the entire world drowning in the ocean of material existence, you mercifully bless them with a constant shower of ecstatic love. Heno je atul kripa moy gor dham, spuruk amar hridayete aviram. May Gauranga, the abode of incomparable mercy, always manifest within my heart. E mate shloka puri kore viprastuti, puna puna dandavat hoy vachaspati. In this way, the Brahman Vachaspati prayed to the Lord by reciting various verses and offered him repeated obeisances. So first Mahaprabhu had just heard the Sarvabhauma Shatak, and then very soon after he heard the prayers of his Sarvabhauma's brother Vachaspati. Visharada Charane Amar Namaskar Sarvabhauma Vachaspati Nandana Jahar. Vrindavan Das Thakur says, I offer my humble obeisances at the feet of Visharada, who had Sarvabhauma and Vachaspati as his sons. Vachaspati dekhi Prabhu Shri Gaur Sundar, Kripa Drishti Koribare Bolila Uttar. Lord Gaurasundar acknowledged Vachaspati with his merciful glance. Dandaiya koro judi, bole Vachaspati, mor ek nivedan shuno mahamati. Vachaspati then stood up with his hands folded and said, O magnanimous Lord, please listen to my request. Swachanda Paramananda Tumi Mahashai, Sarva Karma Tomar Apana Ichamoy. You are fully independent and always filled with ecstasy. All of your activities are performed according to your own sweet will. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word swachanda means independent or by one's own will. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 10.14.2, it is stated, Asyapi deva vapusho mar anugrahasya svecha mayasya natu bhuta mayasya kopi. My dear Lord, you have appeared in this transcendental body of yours to show mercy on me and to fulfill the desires of your pure devotees. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 10.14.32, prayers of Brahma, it is stated, Aho bhagyam nanda gopa vrajokasam yan mitram paramanandam purna brahma sanatanam. How greatly fortunate are Nanda Maharaj, the cowherd men, and all the other inhabitants of Rajabhumi. There is no limit to their good fortune, because the absolute truth, the source of transcendental bliss, the eternal supreme Brahman, has become their friend. So, Apana ichai thako chaloho apane jana hote loke toma jane. You stay at one place or move to another according to your own sweet will. Only when you reveal yourself can one know you. Vachaspati said. Gaudiya Bhashya, the word te means therefore. Eteke tomar karma tumishe praman vidhi ba nished ke tomare divo ano. Therefore, you alone know your activities. Who can subject you to rules or regulations? Gaudiya Bhashya. The word ana means someone else or another person. Shabe toma sarvalok tatvana janiya doshen antare more krurje bolia. People do not know the actual truth about you, so they accuse me of being cruel. See where the word cruel came from in English? Krur. Krur became cruel. Tomare apana ghare mui lukaiya tuiyacho loke bole tatva na janiya. Tuiyacho. In ignorance, they claim that I hid you in my house. Tumi prabhu tilar dheka bahir hoile tabe more brahmana koriya loke bole. Therefore, O Lord, if you come out for just a moment, then people will accept me as a Brahman. Gaudiya Bhashya. Brahmanas are truthful. When those who came to see Mahaprabhu at the house of Vachaspati could not see him, they assumed that Vachaspati was a liar. Therefore, they went to Kuliyā and requested Mahaprabhu to come out of Chakari Chattopadhyay's house. Then only would they believe that Vachaspati was a truthful person, for then it would be proved that the Lord was not in Vidya Vachaspati's house. Asite lagila Prabhu, Brahmana bachane, tar icha paliya chalila shekhane. After hearing the Brahman's request, the Lord smiled and immediately went outside to fulfill his request. Je matra Mahaprabhu bahir hoila, dekhi shabe ananda sagare magna hoila. As soon as Mahaprabhu went outside, everyone became merged in an ocean of ecstasy. Chaturdike lokadanda vata hoye pore, jar jeno mata sphure she stuti pore. Everyone offered full obeisances from all directions. Everyone offered prayers according to their realization. Ananta arbuda lok haridwani kore, bhashilo shakal lok ananda sagare. Unlimited millions of people chanted the name of Hari and floated in an ocean of ecstasy. Sahasra sahasra kirtaniya sampradaya, stane stane shabe paramanande gai. There were thousands and thousands of kirtan groups, and they all sang in transcendental ecstasy. Aharnisha parananda Krishna nama dvani, shakala bhuvana purna koila nyasi mani. In this way, the crest jewel of sannyasis, day and night, filled the entire world with the transcendental sound vibration of Krishna's holy names. Brahma loka Shiva loka adi jata lok, jay shukher konale she shabe ashok, yogendra munendra mata jay shukher leshe, prithivite Krishna prakashila nyasi veshe. Even a particle of the happiness distributed in this world by Krishna in the dress of a sannyasi freed the inhabitants of planets headed by Brahmaloka and Shivaloka from all distress and intoxicated even the best of the yogis and sages. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word nyasi refers to a sannyasi. Heno sarva shakti samanvita bhagavan, jay papishta maya vashe bole apraman. तार जन्म कर्म विद्या ब्रह्मण्य आचार सब मिथ्या शे पापी शोच sabakar. The birth, activities, education, and Brahminical behavior of a sinful person who, under the control of Maya, denies the existence of the Supreme Lord, who is full of all potencies, are useless. Such a sinful person is condemned by all. Gaudiya Bhashya. A person who does not accept Gaurasundar as the all-powerful Supreme Lord is sinful. Maya binds such a person with 8 ropes and does not allow him to understand Gaurasundar's supremacy. The birth, activities, education, and behavior of a Brahman who does not accept Mahaprabhu as a Supreme Lord are all useless. Such a person becomes known as a condemned, sinful liar. Bhajo bhajo are bhai chaitanya charane, avidya bandhan khande jahar shrabane. Oh brothers, just worship the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. By hearing his topics, one is freed from the bondage of ignorance. Jahara smarane sarva tapa vimochan, bhajo bhajo heno nyasi manir charan. Just worship the lotus feet of that crest jewel among sannyasis. By remembering him, one is liberated from all material miseries. E mata chaturdike deki sankirtan, anande bhashen prabhu loy bhaktagan. As the Lord and his devotees saw everyone engaged in congregational chanting, they all floated in an ocean of ecstasy. Ananda dharai purna Shri Gaur Sundar, Jeno Chaturdike Bohe Jana Vir Jal. The tears of ecstatic love that flowed from the eyes of Shri Gaurasundar resembled the Ganga flowing in the 4 directions. Bahya nahi parananda shukhe apanar, sankirtan ananda vivala avatar. The Lord lost external consciousness in transcendental ecstasy. He was the incarnation of the overwhelming ecstasy of Sankirtan. Jai Sampradaya Prabhu dekhen samukhe, tahate nritya kore parananda shukhe. The Lord jubilantly danced in the midst of whichever kirtan party came before him. Tahara kritartha heno mane apanare heno mate ranga kore Shri Gaur Sundare. The members of those kirtan parties consider themselves most fortunate. Such are the pastimes of Shri Gaurasundar. Vivaler agraganya Nityananda Rai Kokhono dhuriya tare apane nachai. One second, let me just. Hey Dad, is it an emergency? I'm in the middle of reading. Oh, no worries, no worries. Haribo. Okay, my dad called by accident. Oh, Hare Krishna Gopal Ganesham Prabhu. Vivaler agraganya Nityananda Rai Kokono dhuriya tare apane nachai. Lord Nityananda was the foremost of those who were overwhelmed with ecstasy. Sometimes he would grab the Lord and induce him to dance. He was the Vivaler agraganya, the foremost of those overwhelmed with ecstasy. Gaudiya Bhashya. High-class persons in Arisa are called Vivaliya. Interesting. Nityananda Prabhu was intoxicated with love for Krishna, and the foremost among those who are Vival are overwhelmed. Apane kokonritya kore tar sange. Apane Vival apanar prema range. Sometimes he danced with the Lord. He remained overwhelmed in his own ecstatic love. Nritya kore Mahaprabhu kori singhanad. Shenad Shravane Khande Shakal Bishad. Mahaprabhu roared like a lion as he danced. The lamentation of those who heard that vibration was totally destroyed. Jarase Matta Vastra Na Jane Shankar Heno Prabhu Nache Sarva Loker Bhitor. Shankar becomes intoxicated and forgets his cloth while relishing the mellows of ecstatic love for that Lord who is now dancing among the common people. Ananta Brahmanda hoy jar shakti vashe she prabhu nachay priti vite prem rase. Innumerable universes are maintained by the potency of that Lord who is now dancing in this world in the mellows of ecstatic love. Je prabhu dekhite sarva deve kamya kore she prabhu nachay sarva ganer gochare. All the demigods desired to see that Lord, who is now dancing before the eyes of one and all. E mata sarvalok mahanande bhashe sangsar tarilo chaitanyera parakashe. In this way, everyone floated in an ocean of ecstasy. The entire world was delivered by the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. Jateka aishe log dash dik hoite shave asiya dekhe prabhure nachite. People came from the 10 directions to see the Lord dance. Bahya nahi prabhur vivala prem rase dekhi sarva loka sukha sindhu majhe bhashe. Being overwhelmed with ecstatic love, the Lord lost external consciousness. On seeing this, everyone floated in an ocean of happiness. Sukha Sindhu. Kuliyā prakashe jatek papi chilo, uttam madhyam nicha shabe para hoilo. All the sinners of Kuliyā, all the sinners of Kuliyā, the slightly sinful, the moderately sinful, and the greatly sinful, all the 3 types, the slightly sinful, moderately sinful, and greatly sinful, were all delivered. Gaudiya Bhashya. Various classes of sinful people lived in Kuliyā, which is situated across the Ganga from Sri Mayapur. That's where I live. All 3 types of sinners, the slightly sinful, the moderately sinful, and the greatly sinful, were freed from their offenses by the Lord's mercy. Kuliyā gramete chaitanyar parakash. Ihar shravane sarva karma bandhanash. One who hears about the Lord's manifestation in Kuliyā is freed from the bondage of all fruitive activity. Shakal jivere prabhu darshana diya sukhamoy chittavriti sabar koriya. Tabe shab apana parshad gana loya boshilen Mahaprabhu bahya prakashiya. After giving darshan to everyone and filling their hearts with happiness, Mahaprabhu sat down with his associates and returned to external consciousness. Enoi shamoy ek ashiya brahman trida kori dhorilen prabhur charan. At that time, one Brahman came there and firmly grabbed the Lord's feet. Tvija bole Prabhu mor eka nivedan ache taha kohi jadi khone deho mar. That Brahman said, "O Lord, I have one request. I will tell you what it is if you will hear me with attention for one moment." Bhaktir prabhavamui papina janiya Vaishnava korinu ninda apana khaiya. The Brahman said, "I am so sinful that I did not know the glories of devotional service. So I degraded myself by blaspheming the Vaishnavas." This is Devānanda Paṇḍita, right? Kali juge kiser Vaishnava ki kirtan e mata aneka nindino anukhan. I would always make blasphemous statements like, who can be a Vaishnava in Kali Yuga? And what is this kirtan? Gaudiya Bhashya. People afflicted by argument in Kali Yuga cannot become Vaishnavas because there's no possibility for them to engage in chanting the glories of the Lord. Therefore, true Vaishnavism and performance of kirtan are not possible in Kali Yuga. Sinners would always make such blasphemous statements. Ebe Prabhu she papa karma sangarite anukhan chittamor dahe sarva mate. O Lord, when I now remember those sinful activities, my heart constantly burns with repentance. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word sangarite means when I think or when I remember. Sangsar udhar singha tomar pratap bolo mora ki rupe khandoye shepa. To deliver the entire world, you are as powerful as a lion. Please tell me how to nullify those sins. Shuni Prabhu akaitava viprer vachan Hasya upay kohe Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. On hearing the sincere words of that Brahman, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata smiled and gave him the remedy. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word akaitava means without duplicity or simple. Shuno dvija vish kori je mukhe bakhan she mukhe kori jabe amrita grahan. This is the verse, famous instruction at least. Listen, O Brahman, one who has taken poison must drink nectar with the same mouth. This is a good one to memorize. Shuno dvija vish kori je mukhe bakhan she mukhe kori jabe amrita grahan. Visha hoy jirna deha hoyato amar amrita prabhave ebe shuno she utar. Then the effect of the poison will be neutralized, and by the influence of the nectar, his body will become immortal. Now I will explain the meaning of this. Na janiya tumi jata korila nendan sheke wala vishya tumi korila bhojan. All the blasphemous statements that you spoke in ignorance are just like taking poison. Parama Amrita Ebe Krishna Guna Nam Niravadi Shemukhe Koro Tumi Pan. Now you must constantly drink the supreme nectar of chanting the names and qualities of Krishna with the very same mouth. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 2.4.15, it is stated, Yat kirtanam, yat smaranam, yadikshanam, yat vandanam, yat shravanam, yat arhanam. Lokasya sadyo vidunoti kalmasham, tasmai subhadra shavase namo nama. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all-auspicious Lord, Śrī Krishna, about whom glorification, remembrances, audience, prayers, hearing, and worship can at once cleanse the effects of all sins of the performer. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 118.4, it is stated, Notama shloka vartanam jushratam tat kantamritam syat sambramon takalepi smaratang tat padam bhujam. And the meaning is, this was so because those who have dedicated their lives to the transcendental topics of the personality of Godhead, of whom the Vedic hymns sing, and who are constantly engaged in remembering the lotus feet of the Lord, did not run the risk of having misconceptions even in the last minute of their lives. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 3.6.37, it is stated, Ekanta labham pachaso nupungsam sushloka moler gunavadamahu Shrutesh chavidvad bir upakritayam katha sudayam upasam prayogam. The highest perfectional gain of humanity is to engage in discussions of the activities and glories of the pious actor. Such activities are so nicely arranged in writing by the greatly learned sages that the actual purpose of the ear is served just by being near them. A nice one. So Mahaprabhu says, Jai mukhe korila tumi Vaishnava nindan, She mukhe koro tumi Vaishnava vandan. Okay, I've heard this verse before. This is a famous verse. By the same mouth with which you blaspheme the Vaishnavas, you should glorify the Vaishnavas. This is a very easy verse to memorize if you want to try to memorize it. Jai mukhe korila tumi, that mouth with which you, Vaishnav nindan, you criticize the Vaishnavas. She mukhe, with that very mouth, koro tumi, you should do Vaishnav vandan, glorification of the Vaishnavas. With that very mouth, you should glorify the Vaishnavas. Jai mukhe korila tumi Vaishnava nindan, she mukhe koro tumi Vaishnava vandan. Gaudiya Bhashya. If an offender blasphemes Vaishnavas, he can attain auspiciousness if he glorifies the Vaishnavas while repenting and admitting his offenses. Similarly, if by taking poison, one's body becomes wasted by the effects of that poison, the body can again become healthy by drinking remedial nectar. The sin born of blaspheming Vaishnavas, which is not nullified by millions of atonements, can be destroyed at once by glorifying Vaishnavas. If one doesn't, but if one does not blaspheme Vaishnavas again. Yes, there's a caveat. Shaba hoite bhakter mahima baraya, Sangita kavita vipra koro tumi giya. O Brahman, go and compose songs and poetry describing the supremacy of the devotees, describing the supremacy of the devotees' glories. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 1.16.6, it is stated, Tat katyatam mahabhaga yadi Krishna katashrayam atavasya padamboja makaranda liham satam. Please describe all these incidents if they relate to the topics of Lord Krishna. The devotees of the Lord are accustomed to licking up the honey available from the lotus feet of the Lord. I like that. The devotees of the Lord are accustomed to licking up the honey available from the lotus feet of the Lord. Therefore, please describe all these incidents if they relate to the topics of Lord Krishna. Mahatmam Vishnu Bhaktanam Shutva Bandar Vimuchyate. If one hears the glories of Chitraketu from a pure devotee, he is freed from the conditional life of material existence. So he said, "Oh Brahman, go and compose songs and poetry describing the supremacy of the devotees' glories." Krishna Jasha Parananda Amrite Tomar Ninda Visha Jatoshab Koribo Sanghar. The glories of Krishna are full of transcendental nectar, and they neutralize the poisonous effects of blasphemy. E Shatya Kohi Toma Sabare Keval Na Janiya Ninda Jeba Korila Shakal Ar Jadi Nindya Karma Kabuna Achare Nirantar Vishnu Vaishnaver Stuti Kore E Shakal Papa Guche E She Upay Koti Prayashite O Anyata Nahi Jai. I am telling you the truth. Those who unknowingly blaspheme Vishnu or the Vaishnavas can be delivered from all sinful reactions if they always glorify Vishnu and the Vaishnavas and never again engage in blasphemy. Even millions of atonements cannot deliver them. Chalo dvija korogiya bhakter varnan shabeshe tomar shab papa vimochan. O Brahman, go and describe the glories of the devotees, and all your sinful reactions will be destroyed. Shakala Vaishnava Shri Mukher Bhakya Shuni Anande Karoe Jai Jai Haridvani. On hearing these words from the Lord's lotus mouth, all the Vaishnavas jubilantly chanted, Jai, all glories to Lord Hari. Ninda Patakir E Prayashchitta Sar Kohilen Shri Gaur Sundar Avatar. Shri Gaurasundar thus reveals the essence of all atonements for sinful people who engage in blasphemy. E agya je namane ninde sadhu jan dukha sindhu maje bhashe she papi gan. Those sinful people who do not accept this instruction and who blaspheme saintly persons float in an ocean of misery. Chaitanyer agya je manae vedasar Shukeshe jana hoy bhava sindhu par. Those persons who accept the instructions of Lord Chaitanya as the essence of the Vedas happily cross the ocean of material existence. Gaudiya Bhasha. Those sinful persons who accept Śrī Caitanya-dev as the absolute truth and follow his instructions by begging forgiveness from the Vaishnavas for their offenses are able to cross the ocean of material existence, keep faith in the words of Śrī Caitanya, and attain their own welfare. Viprere korite prabhu tattva upadesh, khaneke Paṇḍita Devānanda pravesh. As the Lord was instructing the Brahman in spiritual knowledge, Devānanda Paṇḍita arrives there. So I wonder if Devānanda Paṇḍita heard those instructions. Devānanda Paṇḍita is the same as Devakinandan Paṇḍita, right? I think so. I guess we could confirm in what's the book? Because Devakinandan Paṇḍita, he really glorified all the Vaishnavas, like following this instruction of Mahaprabhu perfectly. We sing the Vaishnava Vandana that he wrote every day, but there's also another song that he wrote to the Vaishnavas, which is glorifying all the associates of Mahaprabhu. So I wonder if after hearing, because it says that he heard those instructions of Mahaprabhu, I wonder if it came from that, like he heard those instructions of Mahaprabhu, and so then he did it himself. I can show you. Where is it? Here's the songbook. Anyways, we'll look at it after. Yeah, I don't want to keep you here for long. Okay. Grihabashe jokhon achila gora chandra tokhone jateka korilena parananda prema moe Devānanda Paṇḍiter mane nahila vishvas na dekhilote karane. When Gaurachandra was enacting his ecstatic pastimes as a householder, Devānanda Paṇḍita did not have faith in him. He was therefore unable to understand the Lord. Dekhibar jogyata achaye punatan, tabe kene na dekhila Krishna she praman. Although he had the qualification to see the Lord, only Krishna knows why he was unable. The Lord is right there. He was able to see the Lord, but he was unable to. Sannyasa koriya jadi thakur chalila, tan bhage vakreshwar asiya milila. When the Lord left home and took sannyas, Devānanda Paṇḍita had the good fortune of meeting Vakreshwar Pandit. Vakreshwar Pandit Chaitanya Priya Patra, Brahmananda Pavitra Jar Smarane Matra. Vakreshwar Pandit was a dear associate of Lord Chaitanya. Simply by remembering him, the entire universe becomes sanctified. Niravadi Krishna Prem Viraha Vival Jar Nritte Devasur Mohita Shakal. He was always overwhelmed with ecstatic feelings of separation from Krishna. Even the demigods and demons were amazed by his dancing. Ashrukampa Shveda Hasya Pulaka Hunkar Vaivarnya Ananda Murcha Adi Jebikar Chaitanya Kripai Matra Nritte Praveshile Shakale Asya Vakreshwar Dehe Mile. Whenever Vakreshwar Pandit began to dance, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, all the ecstatic transformations of love, like tears, shivering, perspiration, laughing, hairs standing on end, roaring, and becoming pale, appeared in his body. What was it? He danced for 72 hours, was it? Something like that. Vakreshwar Panditer Uddama Vikar Shakala Kohite Shakti Achaye Kahar. Who has the power to describe Vakreshwar Pandit's unlimited transformations of ecstatic love? Taive Devānanda Paṇḍiter Bhakti Vashe Rohilen Tahar Ashrame Prem Rase. By the arrangement of providence and being bound by Devānanda Paṇḍit's affection, Vakreshwar Pandit stayed for some time in Devānanda's ashram and enjoyed the mellows of ecstatic love. Dekhiya tahar teja punja kalevar tribhuvane atulito Vishnu bhakti dhar Devānanda Paṇḍita parama sukhi mane akaitave prem bhave koren se bane. Seeing Vakreshwar Pandit's effulgent body and his devotional service to Vishnu, which was incomparable within the three worlds, Devānanda Paṇḍita became greatly pleased and sincerely served him with affectionate love. Vakreshwar Paṇḍita nachen jatokhan vitra haste apane bulen totokhan. As long as Vakreshwar Paṇḍita danced, Devānanda Paṇḍita would guard him with a stick in hand. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word bulen means walked around. Apane koren shab loka ek bhite porile apane dhori rakhen kolete. He would personally keep people away from Vakreshwar, and when Vakreshwar was about to fall unconscious, Devānanda would catch him in his arms. Tahar anger dhula boro bhakti mane apnar sarva ange koren lepane. He would affectionately clean the dust from Vakreshwar Pandit's body and smear that dust all over his own. Tar sange thakitan dekhiya prakash tokhone janmila prabhu chaitanya vishwas. While Vakreshwar Pandit stayed with Devānanda Paṇḍita, Devānanda observed his glories and thus developed faith in Lord Chaitanya. Vaishnava sevar phal koheje purane tar shaki ebe shabe dekho vidyamane. The fruits of serving Vaishnavas described in the Puranas were directly seen in this incident. Gaudiya Bhashya. As a result of serving a Vaishnava, Devānanda Paṇḍita of Kuliyā developed faith in the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. Vakreshwar Pandit's stay in the house of Devānanda became the cause of Devānanda's auspiciousness. Although this Devānanda Pandit took to the path of smarta religious principles, he was greatly learned and self-controlled. He did not recite any literature other than Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. He was fixed in the Supreme Lord, and he was not controlled by his senses. But he had a lack of faith in Śrī Gaurasundar. By the mercy of Śrī Vakreshwar, his sinful mentality was removed, and he became faithful to the Supreme Lord. Ajanma dharmika udasina gyanavan, Bhagavata adhyapana vina nahi ano. From his birth, he was religious-minded, detached, and learned. He did not teach any literature other than Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Shantadanta jitendriya nirlobha vishoy pray ar kotika va gunatane hoy. He was peaceful, self-controlled, sense-controlled, free from greed, and endowed with many other good qualities. Tatapi agora chandre nahilo vishwas, Vakreshwar prasadeshe kubudhi vinash. Yet he had no faith in Gaurachandra. That sinful mentality was destroyed by the mercy of Vakreshwar Pandit. Krishna seva hoiteo Vaishnava seva bodo, Bhagavata adishab shastre koilo dodo. Nice verse. The service of Vaishnavas is superior to the service of Krishna. All scriptures headed by the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam confirm this. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is firmly established that devotion to a Vaishnava servant of Krishna is superior to devotion to Krishna himself. See Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 11.2.5, 11.11.47-48, and 11.19.21. In the Padma Purana it is stated, Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnur aradhanam param tasmat paratarang devi tadiyanam samarchanam. Of all types of worship, worship of Lord Vishnu is best, and better than worship of Lord Vishnu is the worship of his devotee, the Vaishnava. It is also stated, Sarvatra Vaishnava Puja Swarge Marte Rasatale Devatanam Manushyanam Tataiva Yaksha Rakshanam. The Vaishnavas are worshipable in the heavenly planets, in the earthly planets, and in the hellish planets. They are superior to the demigods, human beings, yakshas, and rakshas. Siddhir bhavati va neti sangshayo chuta sevinam nishangshayastutar bhakta paricharya ratatmanam. There may be a doubt whether the servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead will attain perfection, but there's absolutely no doubt that those who are attached to serving the Lord's devotees will attain perfection. Gaudiya Bhashya. See the Itihas Samuchaya and Govinda Bhashya 3.3.51. It's a nice one, huh? Eteke Vaishnava Seva Parama Upay Bhakta Seva Hoite She Sabai Krishna Pai. Therefore, service to the Vaishnavas is the best means of deliverance. Everyone can attain Krishna by serving the devotees. Wow, lots of Vaishnav Mahima yesterday and today. Yesterday we read that's article by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, beautiful article by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur talking about the result of serving the Vaishnavas and the mercy of the Vaishnavas and how to serve the Vaishnavas. Yeah. So the service to the Vaishnavas is the best means of deliverance. Everyone can attain Krishna by serving the devotees. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word etike means for this reason, or that is why. Many people may not attain any fruits by serving Krishna, but by serving the devotees of Krishna, attainment of Krishna is guaranteed. If one serves the lotus feet of anyone who serves the lotus feet of Śrī Vakreshwar Pandit, he will certainly become qualified to attain love for Krishna. Since Krishna resides in the body of Vakreshwar, whenever Vakreshwar dances, Krishna happily dances along with him. Wherever Vakreshwar resides is more sanctified than all holy places. It is Vaikuntha. Vakreshwar Panditer Sanger Prabhave Gaurachandra Dekhite Chalila Anurage. By the influence of Vakreshwar Pandit's association, Devānanda developed an intense desire to see Gaurachandra. Voshya Achen Gaurachandra Bhagavan Devānanda Pandit Hoila Vidyaman. As Lord Gaurachandra was sitting, Devānanda Pandit came before the Lord. Dandavat Devānanda Pandit Koriya Rohilen Ekabhite Sankochita Hoya. After offering his humble obeisances, Devānanda Pandit stood hesitantly. He stood hesitantly in the corner. Prabhu o tahane deki santoshita hoila virala hoya tane loya boshila. However, the Lord was pleased to see him and had him sit down next to him. Remember the place we previously read about Devānanda Pandit. The Lord said he'll never be able to understand the glories of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And Mahaprabhu said many things about Devānanda Pandit directly to him also, because of his offense to Srivas Pandit. Maybe we could read that tomorrow. Yeah, let's read that tomorrow, because Srivas Pandit's appearance day is coming up the day after tomorrow. So that would be appropriate. Purvetana jata kichu chilo aparad shakala kamiya prabhu korila prasad. The Lord excused all of Devānanda's previous offenses and bestowed his mercy on him. Prabhu bole tumi jai shevila vakreshwar ataev hoila tumi amar gochar. The Lord said, "You are able to see me because you served Vakreshwar Pandit. Vakreshwar Pandit Prabhur Purna Shakti Shri Krishna Pai Jai Tahare Kore Bhakti." Vakreshwar Pandit possesses the full potencies of the Supreme Lord. Anyone who serves him attains Krishna. Vakreshwar Hridaye Krishner Nijagar Krishna Nritya Koren Nachite Vakreshwar. Krishna personally resides in the heart of Vakreshwar Pandit. When Vakreshwar dances, Krishna dances. Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj used to say that. How was Vakreshwar Pandit able to dance for 72 hours that time? Because it wasn't actually him dancing. Krishna was in his heart dancing. And it was Krishna in his heart dancing that caused him to dance. So it was actually all Krishna. I think he said something like that. Jete stane jadi Vakreshwar Shanga hoy, she stana sarvatirtha Shri Vaikunta moy. Any place that is associated with Vakreshwar Pandit is equal to all the holy places and is as good as Vaikunta. Shuni Vipra Devānanda Prabhur Vachan, Jor Haste Lagilen Korite Stavan. When the Brahmin Devānanda Pandit heard the Lord's words, he folded his hands and began to offer prayers. Jagat udhar lagi tumi kripa moy, navadvipa maje ashi hoila udoy. Devānanda Pandit said, "You are most merciful. You have appeared in Navadvip to deliver the people of the entire universe. Mui papi daiva doshe tomana janilo, tomara paramanande vanchita hoilo." I could not recognize you because I am sinful and unfortunate. I was therefore deprived of the opportunity to relish transcendental happiness in your association. Sarva bhuta kripaluta tomar swabhav, ei mago tomate hoka anurag. You are by nature compassionate to all living entities. I beg that I may have attachment for you. Eke nivedana prabhu tomar charane, ki kori upai prabhu boloho apane. O Lord, I have one request at your lotus feet. Please instruct me. Mui asarvagya sarvagyer granta loya, Bhagavata poraya apane agya hoya. I am an ignorant person, yet I teach Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, which is a book meant for the most intelligent persons. Gaudiya Bhashya. Sarvagya Vishnu Swami has accepted Śrīmad Bhāgavatam as a commentary on Vedanta. Devānanda Paṇḍita said, "It is true that I am proud of teaching Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, which is a book meant for the most intelligent persons. But I am ignorant and less intelligent. Please, therefore, instruct me. How should I recite Śrīmad Bhāgavatam?" Kiba bakanimo poraimo bakemone, ihamore agya prabhu koroho apane. How should I explain it? And what should I teach? O Lord, kindly instruct me. Shunitan vakya gora chandra bhagavan, kohite lagila bhagavater praman. On hearing Devananda's words, Lord Gaurachandra began to quote evidence from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. I think that's where we're reading up to today, right? Let's see. Bhagavatam. Yes, 504. Okay, so that is our reading for today. And I think tomorrow we can read, maybe because we only have like 2,500 words left in this chapter, which was very short. Usually we read 5,000 words. So maybe we can finish the chapter and then read from the, what is it called? The book Śrī Caitanya and His Associates about Devānanda Paṇḍita. And actually that was something that would be nice to do. If Devānanda Paṇḍita really is Devākīnandan Paṇḍita, I think so. If that's true, then we could sing the 2 songs to the Vaishnavas that Devākīnandan Paṇḍita wrote.
Do you mean Devākīnandan Das? I thought that was Chapal Gopal.
Oh, maybe. It might be. Actually, sorry, I meant to say Devākīnandan Das. I'm a bit, yes.
If you could double check that, because I had a note in my songbook from years ago from Srila Gurudev, from Parikram, one of his classes, but I couldn't catch the reference. If you can research that, I believe it's Chapal Gopal.
Okay, yeah, it very well could be Gopal Chapal. Okay, so I can look that up and double check it. But in any case, we'll read the glories of Devānanda Paṇḍita from Śrī Caitanya and His Associates by Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj. We can read this chapter. There's also Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. He writes this pastime in the book Vaishnava Aparad, which in English became, what is it called in English? The Heart of Krishna. So we can read that as well, and that will fill up our reading for tomorrow. That's a beautiful chapter about Devānanda Paṇḍita. Yeah. All right. So, and then the day after tomorrow is Srivas Thakur's appearance day. So we can sing the Srivas Ashtak, which will be going in the new Gaudiya Giti Gucha, and the song Saptadvipa Dipta Kori, Bengali song about Srivas Paṇḍita, and read his glories. And yeah, if anybody else has anything to share about Srivas Paṇḍita, also you can share. All right. So we'll end now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Just before I start Jadwani, I just wanted to share with all of you this. Here's the link to join Kishore Krishna's WhatsApp group, where once a week he sends a 1-minute Harikatha, like we just heard at the beginning. I shared it in the Zoom group. Now I'll share it on YouTube. You can look in the comments in YouTube. Click on that link. I'll also share it in our daily Bhagavatam WhatsApp group. There. 1-minute Harikatha. All right. Right. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishmar Shri Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishmar Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shata Rashata Shishmad Shila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shata Rashata Shishmad Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj ki jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Shila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Guru Varga ki jai, Śrī Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Śrī Jeev Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Śrī Goswami Prabhu ki jai, Śrī Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Śrī Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Śrī Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Śrī Kshetra Mandala, Gaura Mandala, Braja Mandala, Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki jai, Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai, Shri Vidya Vachaspati ki jai, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya ki jai, Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, all the residents of Kuliyā Gram ki jai, jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, jai. I already said Devānanda Paṇḍita, right? Devānanda Paṇḍita ki jai, the Aparad Bhanjan Pat ki jai, Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai, Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, the Gaudiya Bhashya of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Vo Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Nam Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evachan Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams. Champak Mataji, Gopal Ghanasham Prabhu, Manjari Didi. Oh, Nri Hari Prabhu, I didn't see you before. Dandavat pranams, Nri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji, Shubhananda Prabhu, Ananta Om and Krishnamai Didi left. Okay. Let's see on YouTube and Facebook. Who is there? Raseshwari Mataji, Rasapriya Didi, Kishore Krishna Prabhu, Brishti Roy, Vidya Lalasa Didi. And Kishore says, some say that Devaki Nandan Thakur was Gopal Chapal who offended Srivas. Okay, like what Manjari is saying. And Mahaprabhu chastised him and he begged forgiveness from Srivas.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Kishore says that some say that Devaki Nandan Thakur was Gopal Chapal who offended Srivas. So yeah, he's just confirming what you said. And Mahaprabhu chastised him and he begged forgiveness from Srivas.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, and Amy Jing, is that okay? Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for joining, everybody, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow to read on the topic. We're going to read on the topic of Vaishnava Aparad from Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. We'll also hear a little bit about the glories of Srivas Thakur in this pastime. Prepare ourselves for Srivas's appearance day the day after tomorrow, and we'll finish up this chapter. Thank you so much for joining, and see you all tomorrow. Hari Bol. Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Vaishnav Thakur ki Jai.